Father Adrian Sharp, parish priest of Annerley Eckerburn and the moderator of the Brisbane Oratory.
Father Jack Ho, the parish priest of Sacred Heart Parish in Childers.
Mass in the extraordinary form is the Mass as it was for centuries until the 1960s when the various reforms happened. So it's we call it the more ancient form of the Mass. So it was celebrated that way more or less for centuries before Vatican II changes. I like, it was certainly Pope Benedict's vision that both forms of the Mass would be there and that people would have access to both because both forms of the Mass have something to offer. One of the things I particularly like about the extraordinary form of the Mass, it's quiet, also has very beautiful music. So it's a very prayerful experience celebrating. And when I learnt, because I started with the Novus Ordo and learnt the Latin Mass more recently, and after I learnt the Latin Mass, it actually changed the way I celebrated the modern Mass. I found it more prayerful and was able to enter into it more. So it was an enriching thing to learn the extraordinary form of the Mass.
We are a parish that's hoping to cater for all types of different spiritualities and all types of liturgical interests in the parish, and certainly not just the parish but the region around us. And the extraordinary form has such sacredness to it, in its own way, a beautiful rite, a beautiful form of the Church's liturgy. And just like the Novus Ordo, when it's celebrated beautifully, the traditional Mass, the extraordinary form, when it's celebrated beautifully, really enriches people's spiritual life and really draws us in deeper to that sacredness of the Church's liturgy and tradition.
Hi, I'm Maggie Connolly, and I've come from a town called Calliope. The reason that we came to this was to let the girls who I'm traveling with experience the first time for a traditional Latin Mass. I've been to a couple back at home, and it was very good to be back and experience that again. I felt back at home, basically. I felt that it was very peaceful, and the reverence was beautiful, and the music was beautiful, and it was just overall a great experience.
This is a beautiful church, 120 years old, and when Father Rossellini, one of the pioneering priests, first arrived in Mount Perry, and when this place was a booming mining town, this was the Mass that was celebrated on that particular altar. and to once again see that Mass return to that altar and the church's furnishings being used in the way that it was built and intended, it was a beautiful thing to witness on a historical level.